اسمك يا بلادي عالشمس الما بتغيب، لا مالي ولا ولادي على حبك ما في حبيب. اكتب اسمك يا بلادي عالشمس الما بتغيب، لا مالي ولا ولادي على حبك ما في حبيب. لا 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 لا. يا دار الأوفى دار تلبق لك الأشعار، يا دار الأوفى دار تلبق لك الأشعار، تبقي عالدايم مطوي مزروع مشروبار، ونعيد عينك كل وعينك والكون زين مواسم طيب، لا بالي ولا ولادي على حبك ما في حبيب. اكتب اسمك يا بلادي عالشمس الما بتغيب، لا مالي ولا ولادي على حبك ما في حبيب. لا 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 لفتني ودور واقطعت سبع بحور، لا لفتني ودور واقطعت سبع بحور، وانتهى ايامك يا بلدي ارجع على ارض النور، عالبرج العالي وقفوا خيالي وسيوف الجال شمسك ما تغيب، لا بالي ولا ولادي على حبك ما في حبيب. اكتب اسمك يا بلادي عالشمس ما بتغيب، لا مالي ولا ولادي على حبك ما في حبيب. باسمك يا بلادي عالشمس ما بتغيب، لا مالي ولا ولادي على حبك ما في حبيب. لا 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 لا.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome to this first ever virtual gala and fundraiser for the Palestine Foundation. Now, this is a new thing for all of us. We are all very excited to be with everyone here today, and we are getting ready to start this new initiative. I want to tell you a little bit about it because today is a very special day for all of us here at the Palestine Foundation. You know, we wish we could all be together. I have remembered the times that I have come there, of course, to come there to do comedy, to do all kinds of stuff at the Palestine Foundation events. Again, for those of you who might not know me, which is very possible, you know, my name is Amer Zahr. I'm a Palestinian-American comedian, an activist, and law professor as well. My mom tells people I'm a lawyer, even though I've never practiced law before. I practiced comedy. She would tell people I was a lawyer for about 10 years. Then I bought a house and she started telling people, I think he's a comedian, So I am doing this now. And I'm so happy to be here today with the Palestine Foundation, who makes it a point to support Palestinian artists that are talking about Palestine and stressing our situation to the whole world. Well, today we're here, though, for a very specific purpose. We are here today to raise money for the Gaza Children's Mental Hospital in Deir al-Balah. Okay, Deir al-Balah is part of Gaza. The Children's Mental Hospital is the focus of our project here today, and our goal is to raise $60,000. Now, I know we can do it. I've come to California. I have watched the events there. I've seen all of you pull into these events with your cars. I know you have nice cars. I know you have a lot of money. It's time today to give that money so that we can support this Gaza Children's Mental Hospital in Deir al-Balah. $60,000. I know we can raise it, and we can raise it all here today. Now, the Palestine Foundation is an organization, again, that I've worked with so much. I'm so proud of the work that they do. And the vision of this organization, which is a 501c3, so all of your donations are tax deductible. The mission of the organization is to enrich the lives of people in Palestine. We want to advance sustainable projects in education, health, habitat, and the arts, all of that built on a strong foundation of community participation. All right, so Palestine Foundation is really about sort of preserving all these beautiful things of our culture and who we are through sustainable projects in all different kinds of fields and taking advantage of the talents in our community. While there has been many things that the Palestine Foundation has worked on before, mental health is the focus this time, and mental health is one of the projects that really Palestine Foundation believes in and lines totally with our mission. So, before we get into the event today, which we have speakers from Palestine, we have a great keynote speaker, we have singers from Palestine. I might tell a couple of jokes if everybody behaves themselves. I mean, I can't see you out there, I can't hear you, but hopefully we'll all have a good time today here. But before I do, let me play a little video for everyone. This next segment is going to share a little bit more about who Palestine Foundation is.
The Palestine Foundation was founded to help advance self-reliance and empower grassroots sustainable initiatives to help our people achieve their goal of self-determination. We are a community foundation that builds partnerships and brings together the resources of individuals, families, and businesses to support sustainable projects. We offer an alternative approach to the traditional and often ineffective system of foreign aid. We focus on funding projects in 4 domains: education, health, habitat, and the arts. In the process, we emphasize our values of sustainability, stewardship, and most importantly, proudly bringing joy to our people. Our selection process is stringent and transparent. We work cooperatively with our partners in a participatory grant-making process. Potential partners submit their projects proposals and are expected to raise at least 50% of the costs. Once a partner is selected, we fundraise with them by collaborating with Palestinians and allies primarily in the United States to provide funds that fulfill the project's valid budget. We continue to support our partners by being flexible and responsive to their needs and opportunities over time. A competent board of directors that ensures accountability and transparency governs our operation. Our cohesive team of volunteers comprises seasoned activists who have been doing philanthropic work for more than 30 years. We come from a variety of technical and professional backgrounds that gives us strength, diversity, and power. We are well connected and have a close and harmonious relationship with our community. Welcome to the Palestine Foundation, your go-to address for sustainable project development and management in Palestine.
All right. Well, thank you for that great video. Now it is my job again to introduce to you the president of Palestine Foundation. Now, this woman has been one of the forces behind this from the beginning. And it is a woman, sometimes we Palestinians and Arabs, we get a bad rap. They think that women aren't in charge. Let me tell you something. Growing up with a lot of Palestinian women and going to all these Palestinian Foundation and different Palestinian organization events around the country, our Palestinian women run the show. Okay, they run the show. Without our women, we would be nothing. And this woman was born and raised in Haifa, Palestine. In 1975, she and her husband Karim moved to the US, and they raised their 3 children and ran a business. And she has always been a tireless activist in the community, not only in California, but around the country. And she spearheaded the growth of the Palestinian Children's Relief Fund in Southern California. And she's one of the co-founders and the current president of the Palestine Foundation. Please help me welcome, to give everybody a quick word, Lily Karam.
Greetings and marhaba from California. On behalf of the Palestine Foundation team, I would like to welcome you to our annual Fall Gala, which, like so many events this year, is being held online. At the start of the year, we were so full of energy and excited about our work, including a benefit concert tour by Dr. Dalal Abu Amni and our 3rd annual Walk for Water in Palestine. When the pandemic hit, we knew that disappointment and cancellations were inevitable, but we also knew that it could not diminish our resolve. We had work to do, and so we put our heads together and started to think about innovative ways to support our projects. And the best part is, you were a part of it. During the Global Day of Giving, the Giving Tuesday Now campaign in May 2020, we distributed masks to healthcare providers and frontline workers. We supported the youth empowerment program Skate Kelia through the donation of skateboards to teach community building and leadership building skills to Palestinian children in the West Bank. We gave a grant in support of the Palestine Rights Literature Festival, uniting people with the love of books and justice for Palestine. We also partnered with ANERA to bring relief to Beirut and the Palestinian refugee camps in Lebanon following the devastating explosion in August. We have been working closely with Laje, Arij, and ANERA to provide potable water for children in schools in Palestine. We continued with our support for 143 in providing clean water in Palestine. Now, on our agenda is mental health. We have already raised over $25,000 to support in building and renovating the Children's Conference Center in Deir el-Balah. Although, as you will see today, more is needed. One of our enduring themes is joy. Joy in supporting our fellow neighbors. Joy in community building, in reading, in providing clean water, and in relief when it is needed the most. Joy in the support of educational programs such as the Amer Zahr Comedy Festival and the Kamanjati Music Schools, where Palestinian children learn to play musical instruments. And now, what better way to celebrate the joy of the Palestinian culture than through the art that makes us shine? You can see it in the auction items that we currently have on our website and in Voices of Children, the Palestinian-American Children's Choir, which is still in infancy, but has in a few short weeks shown so much growth and potential that we cannot wait until the day they can join the children of Palestine in songs. If anything, your support today will help us bring a little joy to the children of Gaza. Once again, I would like to thank all of our friends and supporters from around the world for joining us. Special thanks to Amer Zahr, Dr. Dalal Abu Amni, Ramzi Abu Radwan, and last but certainly not least, everyone involved with the Mental Health Foundation in Boston. We'd also like to to extend our gratitude to each and every one of you who have already donated. Now let's continue to do our work together. Shukran. Enjoy the rest of the program.
All right. Thank you, Lily. And thank you for those inspiring words and letting us know that we really can make a difference. That's one of my favorite things about Palestine Foundation is you see the projects that they're going to do, and then you actually see the results of it and the fruits of everyone's labor there in Palestine and somewhere, maybe sometimes even in America. I've seen them put on concerts here in America and then be one of the fiscal sponsors for our comedy festival in Palestine, which I started 5 years ago and now has gone every year, where we bring comedians to Palestine and bring large crowds of people to these shows. Of course, we couldn't do it this year, but we'd be back at it again next year. But again, today the focus is mental health and making sure that our people in Palestine can live the lives that they deserve in a normal life like everyone else in the world. And so we really want to address the ongoing trauma plaguing Gaza's children and the children of Palestine. So again, the goal today is $60,000. I think Lily said we're part of the way there, but I know we can make it there. We can make it there probably in the next 5 minutes if everyone goes to the links that they know. I think it's Palestine.Foundation.org. They'll correct me if I'm wrong, but everyone can go to that. I'll make sure I get it right if I got it wrong, but everyone can go donate there, donate wherever, however much you can. Again, please. We're Palestinian. A lot of you watching this are Palestinians. Some of you might be other kinds of Arabs. If there's any white people out there watching, welcome to our party. If there is any other kinds of people, by the way, we want to welcome all the guests that are here today. That includes the invited guests and any uninvited guests from the FBI or CIA or any other national security guests. Welcome to our party. Okay, we're happy to have you here. Please, everyone, no matter who you are, especially if you're spying on us, go donate now, Palestinian-Foundation.org. Why are we doing this? You know, we are working with the Gaza Community Mental Health Program, the leading organization in the field of mental health and human rights in Palestine. And so their goals are 3 major goals. 1, to contribute to improving the mental health situation of Palestinians in the Gaza Strip. Number 2, to support the capacity of professionals and other actors there to provide the appropriate focused care that everybody needs. And 3, to strengthen the leadership role of the Gaza Community Mental Health Program through implementing procedures, protocols, and research. Basically, all of this to support this wonderful project and to make sure that, again, our people, our Palestinian people, are living a life of dignity that they deserve, to have the same resources that everyone else has in the world, which we are deprived of because of the occupation of our land. So please make sure that you go again, Palestine.Foundation.org, Palestine.Foundation.org, donate. In fact, there are different ways you can donate. You can donate there. If you donate $1,000, which I know for you, for some of you is just like buying enough lamb for metlube for your family. Okay, so if you donate $1,000, you will receive a beautifully engraved map of Palestine. That's one way that you can see that on the screen right now. I believe $1,000 gets you this beautifully engraved map. You can also set up your own Facebook fundraiser. You know, that's very easy. I've done that before. You just make sure that Palestine Foundation is the recipient of your Facebook fundraiser. And the other way is a virtual art auction, which we are doing again. Again, go to Palestine.Foundation.org and all the information will be there as well for the auction. Now, I know a lot of you are Arabs out there. I think you see the things on the screen right now for the auction. Let me try to explain this to you. Sometimes Arabs don't totally understand what an auction is. You know, I know this might sound weird to all of you because you've been bargaining your whole lives, but yes, you will be fighting to make the price higher. I know this doesn't make sense to a lot of you. It's counterintuitive to the bargaining that you've been brought up with your whole life. But yes, you're fighting with other people to make the price higher to help the people of Palestine and to put forward this project that we're doing. I remember I was doing an auction one time for a bunch of Arabs in New Jersey, and I got on stage and I said, the bidding on this item starts out at $1,000, and some Arab yelled out, 400. I said, no, that's not the way this works, okay? And that's not the way this auction works either. You're going to bid, you're going to outbid, you're going to overpay for something because you are helping the people of Gaza and the people of Palestine through this wonderful work that we're doing today. Okay, and so some of the things, I think you saw some as she was going through, but some of the items that people will be bidding on in the auction includes a Gaza photographer. He uses an old camera. His name is Ibrahim Fethi. He uses an old camera to capture the beauty of Gaza. That's one thing that you'll be bidding on. Another thing you will be bidding on is art from Ibrahim Nashashibi. He's an award-winning abstract artist and Jerusalem native. You will also be bidding on art by Sam Hassan. I believe that'll come onto the screen in a second as well. Sam Hassan. He's actually a Southern California-based artist. He paints in the style of Ajami, so make sure you do that. And then, of course, there are paintings made of tatriz, that's the Palestinian embroidery. And, of course, there is a al-Auda key, that's our key of return, our eternal right of return, our key of return as well. Okay, so that is all the things that you'll be bidding on, auctioning, overpaying for items to make sure that we support this wonderful cause that we're all here for today. All right, now let's go to another art form, another thing that Palestine Foundation has been supporting. Palestine Foundation is all about making sure our art stays alive, right? Our art is resistance, our existence is resistance, it is who we are. And so this is now going to be the sounds of children singing traditional folk and Palestinian songs. This was a project launched only a few weeks ago, and the response has been amazing. And before we knew it, there was something called the Palestinian-American Children's Choir. And it didn't come without challenges, especially in the world of COVID, right? A choir couldn't sing together. They couldn't come together in person. So you have time delays from different households and who knows how many different kinds of distractions. Everyone has been running into it here. And we still were able to get people together and put something together for everyone. The age range of this thing is from 5 years to 17 years, okay? So it's a beautiful mix of all our children. And it's meant to bring together Palestinians that are born in the United States. And to a lot of people, classical Arabic, which a lot of songs are made in classical Arabic, was not spoken at home, so they couldn't read it. So they have done things like put together transliterations into English, karaoke style, and this is when the kids really grabbed onto it. When there was a language they could understand, they all loved it and participated enthusiastically. You're going to hear some singing, and maybe you'll even hear some parents cheering them on in the background. But the Palestine Foundation started teaching them the music, staying on right pitches, keeping the correct rhythms. And they also ended up, as an added benefit, teaching them a little bit of Arabic pronunciation and even a little bit of Arabic grammar, which I learned all throughout college and still forgot some of it. And different dialects, classic dialects, local dialects, and all these issues became part of learning the beautiful traditions of Arabic music. So the project has not been going on long enough yet to present a group performance. So we're going to be featuring a few children in short clips singing the flagship Arabic song, the Palestinian anthem, Motini. And so our partner group in Palestine decided to support our effort with recording their own performance by a young boy that we will share in the video. So please enjoy this video now.
شوف القمر كيف بيدور
غابت شمس والشمس بعقد المرجان دك دك دك.
زوروني كل سنة مرة
سالما منعما وغانما مكرما سالما منعما وغانما مكرما هل أراك في أذنك قبله السمات موطني الجلال والجمال الثناء والبهاء في رباك والحياة والنجاة في هواك
موطني الجلال والجمال والثناء والبهاء في رباك والحياة والنجاة والهناء والرجاء في هواك هل أراك سالما منعما وغانما مكرما سالما منعما وغانما مكرما هل أراك في علاك تبلغ سماك موطني زوروني كل سنة مرة حرام تنسوني بالمرة زوروني كل سنة مرة حرام تنسوني بالمرة حرام تنسوني بالمرة يا خوفي والهوى نظرة تجي وتروح بالمرة.
All right. I mean, amazing, right? I can tell you the power of music. It is how I learned Arabic to really take me into our art form. I grew up playing American music. I played the trombone like a good little white kid, and then I learned how to play the oud. And then my dad bought me books with music and words, and this is how I really connected strongly with our culture. And we see the same thing. This kind of stuff lives forever. And I have to give a little shout out. One of those little faces you saw was my niece. So I'm especially thankful to the work that Palestine Foundation is doing. It's doing things in our family and a lot of different Arab and Palestinian families around the country. In fact, one of the young boys you saw was from the Kemanjati School, one of the incredible projects in the arts that the Palestine Foundation supports. This school, through the leadership of Ramzi Abu Radwan, teaches children in the West Bank to sing and play musical instruments. And it's only fitting that this young man was playing in the Mahmoud Darwish Museum. And I think we have another small clip from the Kemanjati now.
كنا سوا
All right. I mean, beautiful, right? And that was actually coming directly from the Mahmoud Darwish Museum in Palestine, where I've performed and a lot of other Palestinian artists have performed. You could see the signature of Mahmoud Darwish in the background there, coming directly from Ramallah and the Mahmoud Darwish Museum there. All right, I've been told that we have gotten thousands of dollars of donations in the past few minutes, $3,350 so far. But again, our goal today is $60,000 total. So again, Palestine.Foundation.org, go there, give money, give a little bit more. If you gave already, go give again. If you didn't give yet, go give a lot. Make sure you give. Remember, it's 501c3. Everything is tax deductible, and this is all going to support sustainable projects, including directly the mental health clinic that we are trying to support today. Palestine.Foundation.org -donate. You can make sure you go there, and all the information will be there as well. And so now to talk a little bit more about the project that we are supporting today, I would like to introduce the Director General of the Gaza Community Mental Health Program, the leading mental health services provider in Palestine. He received his Master of Science in Clinical Neuropsychology or Psychiatry with distinction from Birmingham. And in 2015, he received the award of the Best Alumnus Achievement from the Said Foundation on his work in developing mental health sectors in Gaza and the Gaza Community Mental Health Program Crisis Response Plan after the 2014 war in Gaza. He is a member of the task force which developed the National Mental Health Strategy 2015 to 2019 in Palestine. He has a large interest in capacity building programs in neuropsychiatry, and he is advocacy and lobbying as well. So please help me welcome, joining us live all the way from Palestine, Dr. Yasser Abu Jamei. Hello, Doctor.
Hello, Sahla.
أهلين.
Thank you very much for the introduction, Amer, and let me begin by thanking the Palestine Foundation for arranging this virtual gala, and of course, thanks to the panelists. And I am really thrilled to see more than 100 attendees joining us, including some of the very old friends that I came to know across the years. I am really hopeful that this will be a very fruitful event and happy one to all of us. I'll begin my presentation, which I'll try to make short, by talking about Gaza Strip. You know, everyone speaks of Gaza Strip. When you mention the name Gaza Strip, it comes in mind at least five or events. One of them is that it's under occupation. One of them is that it's under the blockade, under movement restrictions. One of them is that it's under, or it went through three large-scale offensives or attacks in 2008, 9, 2012, 2014. One of them is that we had the Great March of Return crisis in 2018, 2019, and now, of course, the current news is about the COVID-19 difficulties. Well, there are some figures that all the time show that children were affected by whatever was happening around us. For example, in 2014, during the last attacks, more than 3,300 children were injured, which is about 30% of the people who got injured. More than 500 children were killed, which is again 31% of the people who got killed. In 2012, another figures, 35 children were killed, which is 34% of the people who got killed. 214 children were wounded, which means again that's almost 30%. So whenever something is wrong that is happening in Gaza Strip, keep in mind or bear in mind that all the time children are affected. When we speak about, for example, the people who got wounded or injured during the activities that happened a couple of years ago during the Great March of Return campaigns that were unfortunately met with brutality from the Israeli army, we speak about almost 30,000 people who got injured. Again, among them, you speak about more than 5,000 children, which is like about 25%. So all the time, children are affected by what happens in Gaza Strip. It's not only children, by the way, it's also their families. If we look at the UN OCHA humanitarian needs overview that was for the last year, they speak that, you know, in this very crowded area of 365 square kilometers, there are more than 2 million people, including 1.4 million refugees. To begin with, we have almost 70% refugees. Food insecurity is about 40%. Only 5% of the water is potable. And then the other thing is that 25% of the children who live in Gaza Strip are in need of some sort of psychosocial support. That's more than, or that's 290,000 children. If we speak about youth, unemployment rate is almost 70%. If we speak about youth in general, in total, it's 53%. And then we see OCHA again saying in 2020 that what happened during 2019 led to adding another 26,000 children who are in need for mental health and psychosocial support, adding to the other, what OCHA estimated to be 210,000 children. When we look at our community centers, for example, all the time we see those children at our community centers or at our clinics. This is one of the drawing of one of the children that drew after the attacks in 2014. And as you see, there are always children who try one way or the other to show us what happened really during those attacks. This child shows an ambulance, shows another wounded children, shows a missile that is falling on one of the houses, destroying it partially, and showing people who are carrying some things and maybe fleeing their houses. This is another more dramatic actually drawing, which is by a child who again just painted it in black and in red, showing a lot of blood and showing again a lot of buildings that were really attacked. The interesting thing is that you see all the time, or most of the time in those drawings, a Palestinian flag somewhere here or somewhere there, that children are all the time, that they have in mind that this is part of our struggle to have a Palestinian freedom at the end of the way. Now the question is, our children have the right to have all the happiness and live through the happiness that all the people around the globe live under. And the question is how to make our children overcome the current realities, overcome the the current challenges. And this one was of the issues that led to the foundation of Gaza Community Mental Health Program in 1990. And I'll love to leave you with a very short video clip that was made by one of our friends. Over the years, for 3 decades now, we implement a lot of services. Most of them are community mental health and psychosocial rehabilitation services that are provided through our 3 community centers. One is in Gaza City, the second one is in Deir al-Balah, and the third one is in Khan Yunis in the south. And of course, as Amer said, we have a lot of capacity building and training program in order to train a lot of people who work in the field. You can never be able to deal with 200,000 or 290,000 children without the support of people who work in schools or in kindergartens. We, of course, need to raise the awareness of the whole community about issues related to mental health. And we always work with others. We work with UNRWA, we work with the Ministry of Education, with the Ministry of Health. And we do a lot of work in terms of research when it comes to looking into what are the needs of the society, how we can best help the population. And the target, our beneficiaries are not only patients, but also professionals, students, etc., etc. During the last year, 2019, this is it shows how many people we were able to help. In total, we managed to help 19,710 people who received our these are direct beneficiaries who received our helps directly, including 4,540 children. When it comes to the people who, of course, not all of them are patients, but when it comes to community centers, we have more than 724 children who attended our community centers and another 50 children who benefit from our psychodrama therapy games. This is a photo of one of the children who are working with one of our psychologists. This is the play therapy room that we have established in the Gaza City less than a couple of years ago. The new Gaza City clinic was established with a lot of donations, with a lot of support, including our sister organization, Gaza Mental Health Foundation in Boston. And the aim of this work is to try to replicate the play therapy unit and the resource center. We have the treatment and training running in the same time now. This is a short video about Deir al-Balah Community Center. It's a very lovely area. It's owned by GCMHP. And that center was established actually in a different place in 1996, but then we moved to this place, which is owned by GCMHP in 2004. Now, this building, we have some space on the second floor. It needs to be, that's the place where we're going to have the project. This is from the next slide. It's a very nice place. These are drawings of some of the children. Again, unfortunately, one of the drawings that was presented by a child, and it was during our work in the after 2014 attacks. It's again a show of tanks, a show of ambulance, Palestinian flag. Here we show also, we can see one of our rooms where we see patients and clients. Very simple, very warm. You can rest, you can relax, you can also speak your heart. And this is the area where we are going to, where we plan to have the play therapy room, the training hall, and the observation room. In this area, we hope that we'll be able to, again, duplicate or carry the model that we had already in Gaza City. This is what we hope that the play therapy room will look like. And the mirror, where we have an observation room for the parents, and here, of course, there is the training room. That's the how we hope that things will take place, and hopefully by the end of the establishment of that center, the children of Deir al-Balah again will have the capacity to make them happy again, wearing the Palestinian clothes and enjoying their life. Thank you very much.
Dr. Yasser, thank you. Listen, stay with me, Dr. Yasser. Stay with me on the screen for a second. Let's turn his screen sharing off. I don't know if you can put both of us on the screen together. Turn your video on, Dr. Yasser. I want to play something fun with everybody out there in the world. Listen, for all of you, I see we have like 100 people or so watching. Dr. Yasser, can you still hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. Look at this. Look at the chat box. Everybody, if you're out there watching, I want you to write in the chat box right now. Tell me and Dr. Yasser where you are in the world. And if you're Palestinian, tell us where you're from in Palestine, so I can show Dr. Yasser all the support we have from all over the world. We have Jean from Ottawa, Canada, Nabil Satir in Michigan. He's Lebanese. We have, okay, slow down. Geez, we have Houston, Texas from Kufr Yassif. We have, that's Mo. I know that guy. We got Wali Yazbek. He's from Nazareth in Atlanta, Georgia.
You started the game, Amer. You have to deal with
it. I know, it's my fault. I didn't, Dr. Yasser, I didn't think Arabs would follow directions this good, but they did. And then we have, of course, one of the board members, Amani from Moore Park, California, Haifa. We have somebody from India. We have Nancy from Cambridge. Look at all these people that came together, Dr. Yasser. Ned from Portland, Oregon. Lena Slaby, she's going to be singing for us later, all the way from Bethlehem. Julia from Santa Monica. We have Temecula, California, from Gaza. Amer Zahr, all the way from California. West Hills, California. Tara Ali, Hani Bawardi from Nazareth in Michigan. We have Lucy from Moore Park. Look at all these beautiful people. Joan Abu Hamad, and we have Reverend Fahad Abu A'il, Atlanta from Kufr Yassif. We have Olga from Pasadena. She's Latina. Okay, we have Hama Abu Haltam from Amman, Palestinian from Khalil. Oh, we have people from Khalil. Is that okay, Dr. Yasser, if we have Khalili? Okay.
These are our brothers and sisters.
Yes, they are. We know the people from Khalil are very successful. Actually, they could fund the whole hospital all by themselves if they wanted to help us.
Definitely they can.
Yeah. And then we have people from San Diego, from Michigan, Boston. Look at everybody. The Rafidis from California and El Biri. We have all kinds of people joining us from Haifa all the way to San Dimas, California. Nasim from Kufr Qara. Then we have people from Fort Lauderdale, Haifa. Look at this. I mean, just so beautiful. All the people that are joining us. I didn't think I'd get this much. Dunya Karam from parents from Haifa and Nazareth. I think Dunya is related to Lillian Karim. We have to give her an extra special shout out. But Dr. Yasser, let me ask you one last question, because I have, one of my dreams has been able to come to Gaza to do a comedy show. And we always hear about, things are tough in Gaza because of the occupation and the blockade and all that kind of stuff. but just talk to me for a minute about the spirit of the people in Gaza. Yes, it's a tough life, but are you optimistic from the spirit and the optimism of the people that you see in Gaza?
There is a question that we always, we are asked always. How come that you continue to, to survive? And I'll tell you one thing, I don't know how we continue to survive, but we are going to continue to survive. That's it.
That's right.
No matter what happens, They say about maybe 12, 15 years that Gaza is not going to be inhabitable anymore by the year 2020. Well, the number of the population is increasing 70,000.
Yeah, we have a lot of babies, Dr. Yasser, right? I mean, that's something I've always noticed. It's something I noticed, Dr. Yasser, when you talk to a Palestinian and you say to him, how many kids do you have? He says, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if you say to them, how old are they? He says, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, we do have big families. But yes, sorry, continue.
Yeah, well, 5 is the average now. It's not big anymore. And a lot of people say that this is, this is moving on the wrong direction. You should have all the time. Like your parents, they say 5 is not enough at all. We say that 5 is more than enough. We don't know about our children, but again, the spirit is really high. And we have faith, we have purpose in life. All the difficulties that we are facing is just because we have a just case. And we are ready to give up whatever is needed for that just case. And no matter how long it will take, justice will see the light at the end of the day, right? There is no doubt about that. And it's just a matter of time. Maybe it's not in my life, maybe it's in my children's life, but maybe sooner than that. But again, justice will come and justice will see the light. And whenever we look at your show, and how you explain and talk about different neighborhoods in Palestine, different areas in Palestine, different cities, you have a lot of fans, Amer, and everyone here in Palestine. And I'm really glad that you are here and everyone. And I see a lot of the people who are already responding. Another one from Egypt just now is saying Egypt.
Yes.
تحييكم says hi. So thank you very much, Amer. Really
thank you, Dr. Yasser. And one day, hopefully, we won't be doing this over Zoom. We will be coming to Gaza one day to do our event. And I want to come there one day, meet you, and appreciate you for all the work. I love you. I'm very proud of you. إلى اللقاء.
إلى اللقاء. And thank you for all the 105, and of course for Lily and the foundation, the Palestine Foundation.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Yasser, so much. Again, that's Dr. Yasser Abu Jamei, the head of the mental health facility that we are supporting today with all of this. And look at this. I mean, I thought I'd get 10 responses. Look at this. Everybody responded. I got Lillian, who's born in Haifa, and she's joining us from Ontario, Canada, and from Plymouth, Massachusetts. Mace from Me'alia, Manal from Redondo Beach and El Bassa, Joan from Yorba Linda. Oh my God. We have... Saada from Shfamer. Yes, Shfamer, next to Nazareth. That's where I'm from. And then we have Beit Sahur, Ghada Rafidi from Beit Sahur. And California, we have Jessica Sarabia from Albuquerque, Jamal from Moore Park. We have Susan El Bedawi from Laverne. Is that a California place? I don't know. I don't live in California like the rest of you, okay? I live in Michigan, where we still give plastic bags for free, okay? I don't know what you guys do out there in California. In El Khalil, we have Mary Lou Finley from San Diego. We have Maris. We have, there's so many. Linda Mansour, Toledo, Ohio, Elbira, and Lifta. It's so fun. Look at all the interaction. Mustafa Hijazi from Egypt. Yes, that's what Dr. Yasser was talking about. And this is so great. Samira Jardali from El Khalil. We have people, we have more from Egypt. We have so many great words for what Dr. Yasser was telling us and all the energy he was showing us. Muhammad from Ramallah, Marwan from Ghazi, Monrovia, Manal Sansur from Beit Jala, and Jasmine Barakat from Anakta. See, this is what I'm talking about, man. We do not forget where we came from. They said the old will die and the young will forget. And that did not happen, man. There is some old ones still walking around. And there are 6- and 7-year-old Palestinian kids that will tell you what village their grandparents got kicked out of, just like the 75% of refugees in Gaza. Oh, and it looks like we have one more person who said some guy named Yasser Abu Jamei from Gaza. He is also joining us today on the Zoom. I mean, thank you so much, everybody here. We're not done. We have a lot more in the program coming to you. This is like an Kulthum song. It starts off and then it goes on for like another 3 hours. When you think it's over, we're going to sing it again and it keeps going. We still have a lot more fun things to do here today. And we have people from, man, I heard we have people from China. I heard that we even got a wonderful fundraising from China. I mean, this is great. We are now into the thousands of dollars, but we still need more. We are here today to raise $60,000 at least for this mental health program in Deir al-Balah that you heard Dr. Yasser talking about. The need for it, but the great spirit of our people. We need to make sure that our people are living a life of dignity because the occupation is robbing us of that basic right. That's all we've ever asked for, because we are a beautiful people. We come from one of the most historically beautiful places on planet Earth. I always tell people that I'm Palestinian like Jesus because he's one of us, okay? Jesus is one of us. He didn't have blonde hair and blue eyes. He wasn't from Texas. He probably looked like Dr. Yasser, actually. He didn't look like Brad Pitt. He looked more like Dr. Yasser. And so Americans don't understand that, man. We live in America where there's not that much history. In America, somebody says, this building is 50 years old, and they think that's a big deal, okay? And then you're in Jerusalem, and you're eating a falafel sandwich, and you say to the owner of the restaurant, tell me about this restaurant. And he says, well, Jesus ate there. And you're like, all right, that's old. That is old. We come from a beautiful place. Our people are centuries old. And 70 years of occupation is not going to change that. And we will fight back every way that we can. All right, let's move on. I know that we have a wonderful short video coming to us from one of the artists who has supported Palestine Foundation, and Palestine Foundation has supported her over the years. She's a wonderful singer. She's a doctor in her own right. This is what we Palestinians do. We overachieve. We become doctors, and then we go and do singing and art and all that kind of stuff. And that's what she has done. And she is going to be sharing a short video with us. She keeps our Palestinian folklore music alive. Please help me to welcome this short video with Dalal Abu Jamei.
Hello, everyone. Let me start by congratulating the Palestine Foundation on this wonderful event and thank the entire team for their hard work preparing for it. I would also like to thank all the participants joining us for this very worthy cause in support of the Gaza mental health program. The Palestine Foundation aims to raise funds needed to rehabilitate the Children's Conference Center in Deir al-Balah. As a neuroscientist, I cannot emphasize enough how a healthy community can result in a productive and thriving community. I was supposed to be with you on the West Coast in person this past March for a benefit concert tour. Due to obvious reasons, everything was abruptly stopped. But I promise to join you in person as soon as the world goes back to normal. As a singer and a neuroscientist, I believe that creativity helps us as human beings to exist and gives us the ability to perceive the world in new ways, to make connections between seemingly unrelated things, and to generate solutions. Both music and science involve creating and bringing something new into being, and thus they both require passion, awareness, and commitment. As the creators of the future, we do have the power and the responsibility to use our creative power responsibly and create the things that we want to see in a better future. Being a Palestinian singer that has been performing all over the world for many years, I have been using music as a means of reconnecting with my turn roots and creating solidarity and unity with my people. These people that have been forced to live in divided territories with millions of refugees all over the world. Therefore, one of my goals has been to preserve, revive, and introduce our traditional oral musical heritage to the new generations of Palestinians everywhere. I strongly believe that music is a force that can unite us even as we are separated by distance and borders. It gives us hope during a time of hopelessness and gives us the strength to be able to push past persecution and oppression. With the assistance of a great cultural foundation such as the Palestine Foundation, with which I share many of my visions and aspirations, we can make this reconnection among Palestinians happen as we look forward to rebuilding our people again and creating solidarity with our cause and our right to live as an independent, free people. Wish you all the best in your great projects, and thank you everyone, and salamat.
Thanks, Dalal. And you saw the Christmas tree behind her. It is the holiday season in the original Christmas. Okay? Don't forget, Palestine, we had the first. When people say to me, do Palestinians celebrate Christmas? I'm like, we kind of invented Christmas. Okay? We invented Christmas. He's one of us. All right. Now let me bring on our keynote speaker. Don't forget, before I bring her on, PalestineFoundation.org/donate. Go now, donate. We can raise all that money as we go along. But if you have been Arab or Palestinian and following the Palestinian situation for the past few years, and you've just been like conscious, then her videos have somehow come upon your timeline at some point, especially if you're part of a WhatsApp group. You know, you get all the videos. I'm getting all these videos, still get them, 5-year-old videos of interviews with this wonderful woman. She's a visual artist and she's an anti-imperialist journalist. She's the co-host of Media Roots Radio, creator of the Empire Files, an investigative documentary series through the lens of the U.S. empire. I heard that she's a new mom as well. So, and we're so happy to have her with us here today. Please help me welcome our keynote speaker with us today, joining us live, Abby Martin. Hey, Abby.
Hey, Amer, thank you so much for that great intro. I've been cracking up over here.
Well, take it away.
All right. Thank you so much. And thank you so much, Dr. Yasser. Thank you so much for the Palestine Foundation for having me. And thank you so much for hosting our film, Gaza Fights for Freedom, a couple of days ago. The work that the Palestine Foundation is doing for mental health in Gaza is incredibly important. And I really hope that this film can help make that issue at the forefront, right? Because we need to understand why this issue is so crucial. So we're very honored and excited to be working together to spread awareness about this, because political education is really the key needed for Americans, right? We are a grossly misinformed country. We have no idea really that our tax dollars are going to fund these mass atrocities in our name. Because we have no idea, right? We only see one side of the story. We've always seen only one side of the story. And I really think political education, again, is really what ties everything together. And I think when people know the truth, they can't unsee it, and they will be moved to act. And that's my goal here. That's my goal with my journalism work. I wanted to talk a little bit, piggybacking on Dr. Yasser, about the mental health crisis in Gaza, especially with youth. I mean, this is an area where 50% of the people who live there are children. Of course, the mental health crisis, it's a cataclysmic crisis because they are constantly bombarded from the air, from the sea, from the land, by occupation forces who are bombarding them with endless violence, endless destruction, endless oppression. We were in the West Bank about 5 years ago documenting the atrocities of that part of the occupation, the home demolitions, the settler terrorism, where you have, I'm sure you've all heard and know about the Dawabsha family, where settler terrorists came and burned their family alive, their small infant baby, Ollie, where now the grandfather takes care of the surviving child, Ahmed, and they are still threatened every day with settler terrorism. They cannot defend themselves with guns. And they are forced to look at their oppressors with this kind of architecture of oppression on the hill and closing in on them, which is what these settlements are in the West Bank. They know that these people can come back at any time and kill them. In fact, they get threats all the time saying, We took 3, there's 1 left. This is the daily reality, the suffering, the stress that people, that children are going through. And Ahmed's grandfather told us when we were there, he just said, Ahmed doesn't understand yet what happened. What is he going to be like when he understands that his entire family was taken from him? How is he going to grow up? How is he going to have hope for the future when he doesn't see justice for what happened to his family? And, you know, when we were there, just one particular experience at Calandia checkpoint, people in America have this idea of what Iraqis lived with under US occupation. And they sympathize and empathize with that. But for some reason, we don't understand that Palestinians are enduring the same exact thing under Israeli occupation on a daily basis. Calandia checkpoint, just one day of being there. This was on the heels of a pregnant woman who was shot and killed and left to bleed out at this checkpoint. We saw an old man walking who obviously didn't speak Hebrew. He didn't understand the language. He didn't understand that he wasn't supposed to walk toward this certain entry, and he was shot at directly in front of me. That is just the daily occurrences, this endless violence that we see happen. And what is that doing to the population? What is that doing to the children? Please, if you have the means, please donate to this initiative, because we cannot depend on the politicians to change policy. We have to look for the goodness of our own hearts to invest in the mental health and to invest in the health of the children of Palestine, because that is the hope, that is the future. I wanted to talk really quickly about this film, about how we got this footage, about why we chose to put together Gaza Fights for Freedom. As Dr. Yasser said, the Great March of Return was a very significant moment where tens of thousands of Palestinians living within Gaza made a new initiative where they marched to the border, this fake construction that partitions people from their own land that they were ethnically cleansed from years ago, that they can see, but they cannot access. They marched with bared chests, they marched holding flags, and they were gunned down, mowed down by Israeli snipers. Tens of thousands of people were shot with live ammunition, with exploding bullets. When we were in the West Bank, of course we wanted to get into Gaza. I'm a journalist. I had all the proper press credentials. I had worked for critically acclaimed news outlets. I was told by the Israeli press ministry that I was a propagandist, that I was banned for life from getting into Gaza, something that is funded by my tax dollars, these mass atrocities, this endless medieval siege, that I could not go and document it with my own eyes. And they also deemed me an Iranian agent. I'm used to being called a Russian agent for working for RT and a Venezuelan agent working for Telesur, but I'd never been called an Iranian agent, which was very scary to be labeled that while we were within 48. We know what the Israeli government is capable of. Look no further than Rachel Corrie. There is no accountability. So it was scary, of course, nothing compared to what Palestinians are living with on a daily basis. I linked up with the Council on International Relations to talk about how we can collaborate to document the Great March of Return, because it was something so monumental. And the Western media, of course, was doing an abysmal job covering this. They were covering it in the same way they do everything. Every single thing that Palestinians do, they say they are wanting to die. They are a death cult. Everyone is a Hamas target. Everyone deserves to die. It doesn't matter what you're doing. We see the same grotesque coverage from corporate media sources, and that was no different. That was no different from the Great March of Return, even though this was such a beautiful, peaceful, monumental event. And so we collaborated with the Council on International Relations. We worked with the crew, these heroic journalists, Muaz Maza, Asma, Atia Hamad, to get this footage, get this incredible footage of what it was like on the front lines, and to really deconstruct and debunk that media propaganda that you saw, this callous, these Israeli officials who, you know, they look and act like Americans. I mean, it's on purpose. They're paraded out there in the media to basically just dehumanize Palestinians. And we were able to, you know, tell the Palestinian side of the story with Palestinian videographers and journalists themselves. Now, briefly mentioned with Dr. Yasser, but it is so important to understand what children went through with the Great March of Return and the impacts that event had on their health and on their future. And this was actually based on a UN report of the egregious violations of international law, the wanton assassinations that were directly violating the Geneva Conventions. Children are a protected category under the Geneva Conventions. 68 children were either directly killed by Israeli snipers, looking in a lens and actually killing directly children, or from exploding bullet shrapnel, directly from tear gas canisters being shot directly at their heads. 68 children in just 8 months of the first year of the Great March of Return. Almost 2,000 children more sustained serious injuries from those same means, directly from ammunition, exploding bullets, and tear gas canisters to the head. They're not just collateral damage here. They are directly targeted. We saw the other side of the camera. We saw the Israeli snipers. We saw them gleefully, happily killing children, knowing that they were killing children with no accountability. I think you saw one case in recent history where an Israeli sniper, and it was caught on video a lot of these times that it is, he shot and killed a small child at this border fence, and he was slapped with probation for a couple years, or I'm sorry, for a couple weeks. That's how much the Gaza children mean to the Israeli government, and that's how much they actually penalize these soldiers. And that's when it's caught on video. Imagine what's happening when we don't see the evidence right before our eyes. It's a rite of passage to throw stones, and that's what a lot of these children were doing at the Great March of Return, going and throwing a stone. It was not anywhere in the vicinity of Israeli soldiers. Of course, stones cannot hurt you when you're 600 feet away from someone, and they were shot in the limbs, the legs, the joints, purposefully trying to disable children, to squash the hope of the children for years and generations to come. One victim we interviewed in the film who was shot in the head, a child, for holding a flag. And you know what he told me? He said that he went out to the march the next week, and he went out the next week after that, despite the fact that he was shot. And this wasn't the first time he was shot. And this wasn't the first time someone he knew was shot, because he said freedom is something you feel in your heart. You cannot explain why you want to go out, because you can't put a price on that. You can't even explain it, but it's something that you feel that drives you to protect the freedom of your people and to protect the freedom and the dignity of your land. Over 70% of the children living in this area have psychosocial stress disorders from the constant violence and the explosions that they hear and witness on a daily basis. Imagine how many children personally know someone who lost their home from bombs, who lost a loved one, who lost a friend, someone that they know permanently disabled from these protests. What does that do to your mental health? What does that do to your ability to learn, to look toward the future? Over half of the children living in this area say that they have no hope for the future. When you take away hope from a child, what do they have left? Dr. Yasser showed a drawing, one of these drawings that the Gaza children made. This was an exhibit and to really show you how much it depends on us to donate, to invest in projects like the Palestine Foundation is doing, like this mental health facility, because the Israeli lobby is so strong. The Israeli lobby is so strong that they will shut down a child's voice. They actually shut down this children's exhibit that was scheduled to be at the Oakland's Child Museum. And they had previously had exhibits from children from the Iraq war that had no problem at all to show these exhibits of other children from other conflict zones. But when it came to Gaza, after Kaslet in 2009, and ironically so, this was actually a mental health initiative within Gaza where they wanted children to express themselves through art, to work out their trauma and anger and fears through artistic expression. And out of that came a curation of beautiful children's images, beautiful in the sense that they express themselves so profoundly, but the images that they displayed were so horrifying from a child's eyes, something that no child should see, dead bodies, blood, bombs. And the Israeli lobby actually came down so hard on this exhibit, they canceled it before it was even shown. And they said that the child's drawings were anti-Semitic. Now, when you look at these children's drawings, there was no anti-Semitism at all. What you saw was actually a Jewish star, which is what children see without actually understanding the symbolism behind this religious symbol. They see this as a symbol of oppression. They see it on the bombs that are dropped. They see it on the uniforms of the soldiers who are killing their family and friends. They see it on the tanks. They see it on the flag. And that's all they know. That's all they know. And the audacity of these groups to actually say this was an anti-Semitic exhibit and to shut down a child's voice. And so we were honored to be able to see this exhibit. Luckily, the Palestine Museum in Connecticut gathered these drawings. They have them on display. They are absolutely incredible. And it really shows you all you need to know about what these children live with on a daily basis and what the impact of this violence is on them. And that's just after one war. How many wars? How many bombardments? How many attacks? The grandparents of these children could have drawn the same exact thing from when they were young. Generations of trauma, generations of trauma that these children are living through, going on to young adults, and then they will be the grandparents of their young children. And this crisis is not just a crisis of being attacked at demonstrations, of being attacked from these bombardments, these endless wars and massacres that we see every couple of years, every couple months, actually. It's also the daily humiliation, the siege that's unleashed on the people of Gaza. The daily life, the traumatization of daily life, not having your basic human needs met, no clean water, mere hours of electricity every day. The daily stress of Ahmed in Gaza Fights for Freedom, you can see it on his face. You could see the worry on his face with his small children saying, every day he collects stones to try to sell so he can get the food for his family. But he also has to stay up all night worrying about the house burning down because of the candles, because they don't have electricity. They can't keep food cold in the fridge because they don't have electricity to keep the fridge going. And so every night he says he doesn't sleep. He doesn't sleep, but you could still see the love and the hope in his eyes, surrounded by his beautiful family. Children who don't yet understand the struggles that they will have to face. But Ahmed does. Ahmed does, and you can see it. You can see it in his face, and you can see the pain, and you can see the hurt. And you can see his plea to those who are watching, please, please. And this is what, of course, the Great March of Return and everyone really wants. And this was the entire idea behind it, was to galvanize the international community, to create this international pressure on Israel, because we see the failure of the US government. We see what Trump did to exacerbate the crisis. We see that Biden is a staunch Zionist. He will not do anything to stop, to withhold and leverage the aid. It is up to us. It is up to the people of this country. It is up to generous people who are willing to invest, to donate to things like this mental health initiative, to invest in the children of Gaza. This issue has never been more urgent in the time of COVID, never been more urgent. Hundreds of new cases every day. I'm in a WhatsApp group with my colleagues who worked with us on the film, and they are sending me every single day hundreds of cases every day. It is on the brink of collapse. The healthcare system already was on the brink of collapse. The monthly income since COVID started has dropped 90%. Tens of thousands of people living there have lost their jobs. This is on top of already an economic collapse, on top of the fact that there was no healthcare system, on top of the fact that the restrictions of travel were already tightening punitively on behalf of the Israeli government. No electricity to run the ventilators. No electricity to run the ventilators. No PPE. No PPE. Of course, Palestinians are so resilient against any situation, but they need dignity and they need mental health. And the same reason those drawings were censored at the Oakland Child's Museum is the same reason why people like me are not permitted to get into Gaza. to get into one of the largest humanitarian crises of our time, even with press credentials. They don't want the world to see how Palestinian children are suffering. They don't want the world to see the horrors that we are supporting and funding. They don't want people, they don't want children to be humanized, that they call terrorists. This is why we need to support the children. We need to empower the children to resist the status quo. We need to give hope to the hopeless, restore dignity and optimism in the children. They are the future of Gaza. This is why you have these anti-BDS laws creeping in state legislatures across the country. This is why I am suing the state of Georgia to protest this BDS law, this loyalty oath to a foreign country that is telling me that I cannot boycott this country, that I cannot have pro-Palestine speech. You just saw this recent Mike Pompeo declaration that they are going to blacklist BDS supporters. That's what is happening. And you know why? Because they are scared. They are running scared of the BDS movement because it works. Because there's a mass consciousness, not only in America, but around the world. The mass consciousness on Palestine is changing. 10 years ago during the anti-war movement, actually 15 years ago now, during the invasion of Iraq, I remember this as clear as day. The anti-war movement would not accept the slogan of a free Palestine. It was too controversial, they said. No, don't mix the issues, without understanding that it is the issue. This is US imperialism. Israel is the US attack dog in the Middle East. We are funding these atrocities with billions of dollars. We are propping up this apartheid state. Fast forward 10 years later, you cannot be in the anti-war movement unless you are pro-Palestine. You are not welcome in the anti-war movement unless you are pro-Palestine. That's how much it has shifted. That is how much it has shifted. And look on the political stage as well. Bernie Sanders, someone who back during Operation Pillar of Cloud could barely muster enough condemnation against the Israeli state. Now he was actually talking about leveraging aid, withholding aid, openly declaring to retract the settlements back to the 1967 borders. I mean, that is an incredible thing. And that is a testament to the power of our movement. That is a testament to the consciousness that is spreading. And we will continue to spread that. So please, I beg you, donate to the Palestine Foundation, invest in the children's future, invest in this beautiful mental health facility so we can keep educating people. And it's a reciprocal effort. Keep educating people in this country what the government is doing in their name. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much for your work. And please, again, look within your hearts, invest in the future of Gaza.
Abby, I mean, thank you. And, don't go anywhere for a second. I mean, Abby, I've never been to Gaza either. I've wanted to go. One time I was in Ramallah, just to show you the power of the beauty of our Palestinian people. I was in Ramallah and I wanted to do a show in Gaza, but I couldn't. So I did a show over Skype. Now, have you ever been to Detroit, by the way, Abby?
Yes.
Detroit, see, you had the same reaction everybody does. Detroit, Detroit used to have 2 million people. Now it has 700,000 people. So, there's a lot of emptiness in Detroit. Okay. And by the way, the American government that doesn't want you to know about the atrocities that we're funding in Palestine also doesn't want you to know about the terrible things going on in some of our inner cities in America too. It's all the same. It's all connected. So I was doing a show in Ramallah, Abby, and I had to do a show via Skype to a bunch of young people in Gaza because I couldn't go to Gaza. And they all spoke English because they'd all been to America before. And so I'm doing my show. And after the show, one of the young ladies wants to ask me a question. And she says to me, "You are from America?" I said, "Yes, I am." She said, "Where are you from in America?" I said, "Detroit." And she said, "Oh." I said, "Okay." And she said, "Listen, I came to America and I went everywhere in America. And America is a beautiful country. And then I came to Detroit and I saw Detroit. And I said to myself, what can the people of Gaza do to help the people of Detroit?" So just to show you the beautiful spirit of our people. That means, by the way, somebody from Gaza walks around Detroit and says, wow, this is pretty messed up, huh? People live here. So we are holding a fundraiser for Gaza today, but maybe tomorrow in Gaza, they'll be holding a fundraiser for Detroit. I don't know. But like you said, the spirit of our people is what is the thing that has kept us. And my last question for you, Abby, is, you know, it would have been a lot easier, Abby, just to be a regular old journalist reporting on regular stuff, maybe challenging the status quo every now and then, but basically towing the line. I mean, what brought you to Palestine? There's always an origin story, right? For us Palestinians, we kind of have to do it. But for you, what was it that thing that made you sit in Joe Rogan's chair and challenge everything everyone's ever heard about Palestine, do the documentaries that you're doing, write the things that you're doing? What was it that made you make that leap? Because it comes with a lot of sacrifice. What was it?
Yes, and briefly, I mean, the internationalism that Palestinians display toward oppressed African Americans here that are wantonly killed by police in the streets is absolutely beautiful and very heartwarming. And it is really incredible to see that. You know, I think that back to the Gaza flotilla, when I saw the grotesque nature of the mainstream media depicting the people who are getting assassinated by Israeli commandos in international waters and calling them terrorists for simply trying to defend themselves from getting killed. And then fast forward to working with Palestinians at my first journalist job. And I think it was during 2012, another, of course, bombardment on Gaza. And my friend had to wonder if her family was dead.
Right.
And the pain on her face to try to phone call her family there and not get through to anyone. And I'll just never forget it. And I just knew at that moment, it is my duty, it is my obligation as an American citizen to expose this in every way that I can. And it doesn't matter if I can't get a job, it doesn't matter at all, because what matters is telling the truth. And what matters is showing the reality, and going on Joe Rogan's show and having that international platform and being able to tell the story and being able to uplift the voices that need to be heard. And that's what I do this for. And I'm just so honored to be a part of this movement. And I won't stop until the day I die, until we get freedom.
Thank you. And that's right. And it's coming. It's coming. And just so you know, the Joe Rogan video, it still gets shared on auntie and uncle Palestinian WhatsApp groups throughout the country. I mean, everyone sees it, you know, and then we Palestinians, we're the ones who get the messages. Do you know this Abby Martin? And we're like, yeah, we know her. Okay. We've known about her you are making it in every group. Well, Abby, we love you. We're proud of you. And thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, bye. Again, that's Abby Martin joining us today here at the Palestine Foundation Gala, where again, we are raising money for mental health services in Gaza. You've heard from Yasser Abu Jamei, the doctor of the mental health facility in Gaza and Deir al-Balah. Now you've heard from Abby Martin. You heard from Dalal Abu Amni. Now we all want to hear from you more and more. Palestinefoundation.org. Keep donating, keep giving that money. We can do it. We can raise the money to make sure that our people in Gaza have that taste of a normal life that they should not be deprived of, but the occupation deprives them of it every day. So please, again, Palestinefoundation.org. And we do have one donation that has come in anonymously that is coming in actually in the memory of Adel Barakat, who is the father of Abdul Barakat and the father-in-law of Amani Barakat, one of the original supporters of the Palestine Foundation. An anonymous donation in the amount of $500 in the memory of Adel Barakat, who recently passed. And so if people can give donations like that, then all of you can give a little bit more. If you've already given 100, give 100 more. I know it might hurt a little bit. I know it's tough times for everybody. But let's not forget that those of us in America and North America and around the world, we have that obligation, like Abby was talking about, to speak the truth. And part of speaking the truth is making sure that everyone has a normal life in Palestine. That's all we're asking for. We really know that when we have a normal life, we can succeed, and we've already been succeeding and excelling without a normal life. So imagine if they treated us like human beings. palestinefoundation.org/donate. And we are now near the end of our program, and what is going to be, one of my favorite parts of the program. Don't forget, the auction is closing soon. Make sure you go bid on the auction and get in those last donations. But now let's end the program with some more artistic presentation here now, a musical presentation. I'm very excited to introduce an artist who has conveyed both artistic and humanitarian messages through her songs. She's participated in local, regional, and international musical productions, TV shows, radio shows, concerts. Her latest concert was called A Tribute to Dalida at the Dubai Opera. She has a discography of more than 30 original and cover songs in diverse languages, including English, Arabic, French, Aramaic, German, and Hindi. She has also collaborated with several musicians from around the world, most notably the German pop star Peter Maffay. And she's a 2014 Bethlehem University graduate and holds a bachelor's degree in business administration and marketing. So please help us welcome here at the Palestine Foundation, Lina Sleeby.
Thank you, Amer. Hello, everyone. Greetings to all from Bethlehem. Thanks for having me with you today. I'm happy to be participating in this year's Gala event supporting GCMHP. May all your efforts be blessed. I'm going to sing a part of a very dear song to my heart called Helwa Ya Baladi, which means beautiful my hometown. كلمة حلوة وكلمتين حلوة يا بلدي، غنوة حلوة وغنوتين حلوة يا بلدي، أملي دايما كان يا بلدي إني أرجع ليك يا بلدي وأفضل دايما جنبك على طول، وذكريات كل اللي فات فاكرة يا بلدي، قلبي مليان بحكايات فاكرة يا بلدي، أول حب كان في بلدي مش ممكن أنساه يا بلدي، فين أيام زمان قبل الوداع كنا منقول إن الفراق ده مستحيل، وكل دمعة على الخد مليانة بأمل إن احنا نبقى موجودين في بحر الحب على الشطين يا ليلي يا ليلي ليلي. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Lina. And so you are in Bethlehem right now.
Yes, that's right.
So how are things going there? I mean, Lina, let me tell you something. I know our people, and I know, it's hard to keep Palestinians on lockdown, especially Palestinians. We love to kiss each other and shake hands and all that kind of stuff. I mean, but what are you seeing? Or how are things in Palestine right now with COVID? And what are you seeing happening in Bethlehem specifically?
You're so right that people like to, hug and kiss. And they say, although there's Corona, let's hug and kiss. The good thing is that they know that there's Corona. But what to do? We are social people, and we love other people.
Yes.
But seriously, God bless everyone, because this period is really hard, and not everyone is really understanding what's going on, because it's hard, and it's surprising, and it's the first time that we live such things. So as for me, I'm taking care, of course, because I love my family, I love my parents, and I love everyone else. And that's a social responsibility, as I believe. So I'm not just taking care for myself, but also for everyone else around me. So I'm wearing masks and, hygiening every now and then. Yeah, but the nice thing about this month and this season is that we're preparing for Christmas, and it's
That's
really
right.
exciting. It's giving us hope in this difficult time. So because Christmas is the season, and it's really nice to see kids are being happy. We're doing this mainly for kids, and also for people to enjoy and to be, to have just this little hope and joy because of the very hard year that we've been through. So yes, we're preparing for Christmas this year, which is very exciting.
And you live in Bethlehem, which is like the original Christmas. I mean, Christmas. Right. You guys gave birth to Christmas out there. And one more question, since I know I've been to Bethlehem a million times, and I've performed there, and all these different things. But Bethlehem also has lots of a few different refugee camps. There's a lot of Palestinians who live in Bethlehem who are not from Bethlehem, and right. I always say, and you can sort of give us firsthand, people who are refugees, the Israelis created this funny thing called internally displaced refugees. So, you have refugees who live a few miles from their village, but it's still true, right? 72 years later, people still remember and talk about the exact villages that they came from, right, Lena?
Yes, that's right. As I mean, the song that I chose to sing, which exactly. is Halwa Baladi for Dalida, reminds us all of this, nostalgia and love for our countries. I mean, no matter where you are in the world, you feel love for your own country, for your own hometown. So I think wherever we go in this world, we have this love, and we carry this love in our hearts, and that's why we're always smiling, because I think right. It's beautiful. My hometown is beautiful, and I love it. So yeah.
Well, I always say being Palestinian is difficult, but it's also the most beautiful thing in the world. So it's very beautiful. Lena, we love you. We're very proud of you.
Thanks so
and I think we have one short video to show for you as well. So if everyone can please pay attention, let's play that video right now.
رح أوصل يوم لهالأحلام وشمس الحب بتشرق عالسلام بالسما تتصافى القلوب وكل المشاكل بتدوب هناك راح تلاقيني محل بعيد فوق غيوم قريب من النجوم في أرض كنت بسمع فيها بقصص قبل النوم في محل بعيد فوق الغيوم لون السما أزرق الأحلام اللي بنحلم فيها هناك بتتحقق راح أوصل يوم لهالأحلام وشمس الحب بتشرق عالسلام المشاكل بتدوب بتدوب هناك راح ليلي محل بعيد فوق غيوم الحمام بيطير بحلم أكون مثل الحمامة حرة وعالي أطير Somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly. Birds fly over the rainbow. Why then no I can
Oh man. Thank you, Lena. I mean, that was beautiful. I got it. I got the Dorothy dress. I got the Tin Man. I got the lion. I got the scarecrow. So beautiful. Lena, that was really beautiful, man. I had watched that before, but watching it again, it just, it makes the hair on my arms stick up. So
Thank you so much, Amer. It means a lot hearing this from you.
thank you so much, Lena. Well, again, we love you. We're proud of you. And hopefully one day we will be with you again in Palestine and see you soon.
Inshallah. See you.
Okay. Bye-bye. All right, everybody. Well, we have reached the end, but not before I say a couple more things. Don't forget the auction that we're doing, that doesn't end today. That is going to end on December 20th. So the silent auction can continue. You can keep making bids all the way until December 20th and keep making sure that everyone is donating. Again, Palestine.Foundation.org. Our goal today was to remind you all of the great work the Palestine Foundation does and to focus on our specific project of making sure that we have the mental health services for all of our people in Gaza. If anyone is here from Palestine Foundation or any of our speakers, if you want to turn your cameras on, maybe we can say one more hello and goodbye to everybody, wave everybody goodbye. If you're still here and you want to say bye, or especially any of the board members, turn on your mic, say hello. Dr. Yasser, thank you again for joining us all the way from Gaza. We will be with you one day, I promise.
Inshallah. Thank you very much. It's a great event. Thank you very much. Thank you,
Inshallah.
Palestine Foundation.
Randa Isa, one of the board members of the Palestine Foundation, thanks again for putting this all together and helping us make sure we get the message out.
Thank you for joining us, and thanks to everybody who joined on live on Facebook and on Zoom. And we encourage you to continue to donate. Once the event is over, just go online and donate. We really need your help, and we really appreciate everything that you've done for us. And we want to say thank you to you, Ahmed, on behalf of the Palestine Foundation. You've been one of the most ardent supporters of the organization, and we really appreciate everything that you've done for the organization and for Palestine.
Well, it's my pleasure. I got a request for everybody to see my T-shirt. See, it says, you see what it says, Dr. Yasser? La sharqiyya wa la gharbiyya, al-Quds kulha fala. See that? It's all, we're not forgetting, Dr. Yasser. We are not forgetting. So again, thank you in the background to Charlotte Cates for putting this all together. She's been the technical guru in the background. Of course, to Lily Karam, the president of the Palestine Foundation, Amani Barakat on the board. We just want to make sure, all of us here from the Palestine Foundation, thank our guests from today. That is Lena Sleeby, Dalal Abu Amni, Abby Martin, and of course, Dr. Yasser Abu Jamei joining us all the way from Gaza. Everyone out there in the world, don't forget, PalestineFoundation.org, and you can keep giving and keep telling. There's 100 of you were joining us today. Each of you should be telling 10 more people about this so that we can make sure that we support everything out there. So everybody, thank you for joining us. Again, I'm Amer Zahr. I was your MC. I was honored to be with you all today. Dr. Yasser, I'll see you in Gaza one day pretty soon, hopefully. And everybody, bye-bye. Have a great day. Ila liqa.